Hello, this is Dr. Embuddy. Today we're going to take a look at solving a simple little word puzzle. It's up here in the corner. Here plus she equals comes, and the idea is what digits substitute for the letters to make the arithmetic correct. And then the only other rule is that the leading digits cannot be 0. Now we can be clever about it, but one thing that many novice programmers don't think of first is how about trying all the possibilities? We call it a brute force effect. And the idea is try every single possibility for H, every single possibility for E, and so on until we find some combination that adds up. Now, as we mentioned in the book, inside of every problem, there's often a simpler one trying to get out. And in this case, one thing we want to look at is how do we generate all the possible values of for each of the letters. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a simpler situation. Let's generate all the possible values of A, B, and C, all the possible digits for A, B, and C. So for example, A can start at 0. We can use a while loop, and we'll try all the possibilities up to and including 9. And then we can do the same for B and C, and we have to remember in my loop to also increment the value. So there's my basic loop. That'll generate all the possible values for A. Let's now do it for B and C also. Now we have a little loop. Each A, B, and C starts at 0. Has all the possibilities up to 9. Let's try it out. And we see it goes through and starts generating all the possibilities. Now the problem has one further restriction, which is that each of the values has to be unique. So let's put that in there. So what does that mean? Well, that means that in the case of printing here, we're only going to want to print if the values don't equal each other. So for example, A is not equal to B, and A is not equal to C, and B is not equal to C. And if you look at it, you'll see that we've in fact considered all the possibilities. So we'll do that check before we print it out. Let's give it a try here. And now we see that, for example, 011 isn't there, 022, 033, 040, and so on. And so now here's a little piece of code, generates all the possible values, digit values that we can have for the letters A, B, and C. So that's a good start on our program. Let's now take a look back at the problem that we have. And in this case, we have more letters, and I've already pre-built all the possible letters in there. We can take a quick look at this. It's got, we have the values for C starting at 0 going to 9, E the same, all the letters down, and then we have to increment them, so we try all the possibilities, and then I have a check in here for all the unique ones, and then I print them out, just like what we had before. Now we need to do one other thing, is that the other part of this problem is that we only want to have the values that where the arithmetic applies, the here plus the she plus the comes. Now what I've done is so let's put that in, and we can take a look at it, at the whole expression here, and you'll notice each one of these lines ends with a continuation character there. So when I have the word here, H-E-R-E, the H is in the thousands digits, the E is in the hundreds digit, the R is in the 10, and so on. We do the same thing for the she equals comes. And then there's one final restriction, is that the C, the S, and the H all can't be 0, so we'll have to fix that. So each of these will start at a 1. So let's put that in there. So C value 1, H starts at 1, and S starts at 1. Now we're going to try all the possibilities. We're going to make sure the arithmetic is right. We're going to make sure each one is not, that they're all unique. We fire this thing up. This, of course, will take a little bit more time, and there we go. Now you'll notice that we keep writing the letters down there. What happened? Well, what we'd like to do is when we found it, we want to be done. So let's go back and fix our program. Is after we print it, how might these while loops stop? Well, each one of these goes, it's while the value is less than or equal to 9. Well, now let's go and create some values to have that loop n, and an easy way to do that is for us to have them equal to something like 10. Now when we do this, after we print the values, we'll give each letter a value so that each while loop will stop. Now, again, it takes a moment to do this, and we see the numbers for CEHMORS is 1, 4, 9, 3, 0, 5, and 8. You can try that on your own to check that it works.